Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my daily video blog. We are on day 18 of the blog, and it is my 62nd day of social distancing. We've got a big edition of What Day is Today for you today. Today is so many things. I mean, normally it's just one of 7 days of the week that happens to end in Y. But today, oh my goodness, we may overload some What Day is Today circuits. It's kind of our first big cultural holiday at the vlog, so we are very excited. But first, today's daily prayer for peace country is Ecuador. My friend Javier is from Ecuador. We keep up on Facebook Messenger. And my next door neighbor is from Ecuador. It's a small world, isn't it? Did you watch the Community of Christ Daily Prayer for Peace on the church's Facebook page yesterday at 1 p.m. Central Daylight Time? That's available every weekend, and Ginny tells me that the response to this has been great since we started doing that live every weekend. Ginny actually got to cover that herself yesterday while the World Church Leadership Council folks were all in meetings. But watch it today live or go to the Daily Prayer for Peace page on seaofchrist.org. Just spend some time praying or meditating about peace. Remember that the Daily Prayer for Peace country of the day today is Ecuador. And remember that there's a world out there. Tiona has another book recommendation ready for us. The book today is called First Mothers. That's First Mothers by Beverly Gurman with illustrations by Julie Downing, published in 2012 by Clarion Books. Tiona says, this is a picture book of the mothers of the presidents of the United States of America, presidents 1 through 44. It's very funny and includes comic strips, basic biographical information, and then some really interesting facts like, for example, did you know that Richard Nixon's mother baked 50 pies a day? Or did you know that Herbert Hoover's mother was a minister? And here's a fun fact. Did you know that Woodrow Wilson was the president who proclaimed May 9th, 1914 as the first Mother's Day? May 9th is also my grandma's birthday, Tiona says, although it wasn't her birthday yet in 1914. Rose Kennedy helped her son win when he ran for Congress. She apparently threw a lot of tea parties for him, and some of his opponents said he won because of all those tea parties. Tiona says that her favorite first mother is either Ida Eisenhower, who was a pacifist, or Hannah Nixon for her prolific pie baking. Every page provides a quick description. Example, the baking mother, the pacifist mother, the bossy mother. That was Sarah Delano Roosevelt, by the way, who scolded her son when he came to visit for not bringing Winston Churchill along. She would have told him how to fight the war. She died the next day, by the way. Tiona hopes you like her Mother's Day book pick, which incidentally was a gift from another great mother, Tiona's Grandma Robinson in Michigan. Okay, it's time for my daily check-in with someone from somewhere in the world that I serve in my work with Community of Christ. Friends, I've got a very special daily check-in for you today. Yesterday morning, I had a very nice visit with Marion Smith of Guelph, Ontario. Actually, Tiona, Eliza, and Laura all took turns wishing her a happy birthday first, since it was her birthday yesterday, and a happy Mother's Day, before I put on my earbuds and took a few notes for my vlog as we chatted. Yes, Marion is my mother, which makes this the most special daily check-in so far. Mom says she's doing well and is very well cared for. The pandemic has kept her in her house, in her own yard, and in her little neighborhood since the 14th of March. So that's pretty much how it's been. Mom reports, my family has determined that I am to be isolated and protected. So they've isolated and protected me. That means Richard goes out for groceries, and Barbara wipes everything down with Lysol wipes before delivering things to me. My mother is an avid gardener. So her report on how she's doing included a fairly detailed description on things growing in the backyard and the care required for all that. She says, I'm surrounded by beautiful nature. The garlic is up. It's the first year we've had that. Rhubarb is up. I need to put cages around the peonies soon, otherwise those big heavy flowers flop over. I usually put tomato cages around them while they're just emerging. Mum sent my imagination on a little trip back to Essex or Kent County, Ontario, with a comment about how back in the day, coming home from school, she had to drive the back roads to find the wild asparagus in asparagus season. You found that in the ditches and on the roadside. It took twice as long to come home from work in the spring in asparagus season. This talk about the garden kind of ended with Mum again reassuring me that she is quite content. Like many Community of Christ friends, Mum has been checking out some of the very professionally done online church content, but she says she misses other things about the local Guelph Community of Christ. She reminisced about Alexa's public speech about spiders and Natasha telling everyone that what endangered species they should be worrying about. She says, "We're an amateur group in the nicest definition of the word." So she misses that kind of thing. She and Amy have kept stirring the pot on the congregation's Facebook group. They've had some likes and some shares, but not a lot of other contributions. She knows that some are doing family Zooms, but also has a sense that people have kind of pulled into their isolation a little and wrapped it around themselves and haven't done much reaching out. I missed getting the latest update on the Guelph Sunday morning discussion group. That's the group that spent months reflecting on Tony Chavala-Smith's book, A Way of Life. Mum's computer can't handle live broadcasts, so she missed Tony's seminary live series on his book. And she watches my blog, by the way, archived for that same reason. She still keeps up on Project Zion podcast, which is where she first heard Tony talking about his book. We finished up our call wondering about some of the big questions, pondering how the pandemic will really change the world and the church. Mum is watching for the great philosophers and thinkers, the really smart people, emerging to help us make sense of all this. In the Kennedy East Mission Center, Mum is known as the Book Lady. One tidbit of our conversation yesterday included reflecting on some of the different bookshelves that we've been seeing in the background of various television interviews and the like. Mum's enjoyed seeing people's collection and even seeing that some of the on-screen bookshelves look a bit messy and lived in. That was a good thing. Anyway, as Book Lady, she travels camps, reunions, retreats, and conferences with her carefully curated collection of books to sell. Her collection is perfectly tailored to church culture, to the cultures of specific events, and she usually has a good book specifically in mind for each individual on her long list of regular customers. But this time of year is when she's usually stocking up at the big used and discount book fairs all around her region. Alas, the ginormous February sale was canceled, as have been all the more recent book sales that she would normally frequent. But now, Kennedy East Mission Center has suspended all summer events. So while she had been a little worried if her current stock of 7 Rubbermaid bins full of books would last the season, now she's wondering a little about what the sharing of books will need to look like in the future. Books must be shared. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my little Mother's Day visit with my mom, even a fraction as much as I have. She's admittedly my favorite person out there in the area I serve in my work with Community of Christ. Okay, it's about time for our big daily announcement. Da 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 da. Now in this moment, now in this day, the question is, what day is today? Wait for it. Today is Sunday!
Yay, Sunday!
Yay, Sunday. And Mother's Day. Yay, Mother's Day. I hope that many of you have gotten your daily connection in with the kids and the wonderfully regular folks from your congregation today in some kind of online sort of way. I mentioned this yesterday, but do check out the special joint service between Toronto's Beyond the Walls and Portsmouth, Ohio Welcoming Community. Tiona is super excited about hearing the Beyond the Walls Worldwide Choir sing the Community of Christ favorite hymn, For Everyone Born. That's live today at noon Eastern Time, or check out their archive. Okay, well, I'm not going to keep you much longer than that. I'm hoping to be back again tomorrow with another What Day Is Today video blog. Again tomorrow, I'll remind you of the Daily Prayer for Peace Country of the Day. Tiona will have another book recommendation, and I'm looking forward to reporting on another check-in with another person to update you on how they're doing. I hope you have a good Mother's Day. Remember that this day started as an anti-war day with mothers as activists. Whether or not you're a mother or have a living mother, maybe think about getting in the spirit of Mother's Day by studying up on a cause. Eliza suggests following National Bailout on Twitter or Instagram. That's National Bailout. They raise funds and coordinate efforts to bail out of jail Black mothers who are not able to be with their families. They rally and coordinate their efforts, especially around Mother's Day. Read about the origin of Mother's Day on Wikipedia, and I'll put a link or two to National Bailout in the description. Okay, so I'm signing off for now from my home in Independence, Missouri. Please, until tomorrow, remember to breathe.